Views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent, such as We Mixed It, LLC, or Sounds Awesome, respectively. On that note, welcome to Thank the Light, the Wheel of Time podcast. We are your true source, the purest light, your companion cast, a warder, if you will, for this journey through all things Wheel of Time. I am Desmond McNeese. I will be your pod mistress, and these are my wolf brothers.
And I'm Patty the Chef, or your Hornblower if you prefer.
And yes, everyone, this is the only reason for the pomp and circumstances. This makes my job even easier. Now I have even less editing to do. Now I don't even have to add an intro.
or edit Patty's dumb shit that he said at the beginning. I'm mostly wearing my glasses. I don't really need them right now. So I can do this. Are you fucking serious? I got done watching episode 3 about 4 minutes ago.
Oh man, everybody. So we if you've listened to our last episode, we watched the exclusive release of episode 1. We didn't want to get too deep in it, just to, in case some people missed it. We didn't want to get too spoilery. So today, officially 1, 2, and 3 dropped. We're talking about all of it. We'll try. This is a lot to talk about. A lot to get to.
I'm gonna try to hit the bullet points, man. So.
And just everyone out there, the main thing I need you to know is this is the first time we'll be talking about these episodes.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little rapid fire and all over the place. Absolutely.
And
I'm kind of glad it's just me and you tonight.
Woo! All right.
Well, brother. Well, Wolf brother. After the first three episodes of season 3.
So I just want to say we're going to open up with a comment from the peanut gallery because it's here. William Richards. Hello, William Richards. How crazy is it that Ishamel's premier cold open was him being nice to a kid and Morgase's cold open was killing a child?
No shit. I mean, like Game of Thrones, like she's giving real Circe vibes right there. I mean, yeah. Let's talk about it. That's one of my notes. I'm like, I am feeling shame.
Yeah.
She's killing babies. That was
and then Leandrin's kind of saving babies. I mean, not babies, but like about the same age girl that gets stabbed in the cold open.
Yeah, I mean, it's ends justifying the means type of thing. I think someone's got some PTSD to deal with. They probably should talk to a therapist.
First, this may take us all over the place. I may be ruining any kind of lenient knowledgeisticness that we possibly have in this episode. What really diverged from the book? Like, is there anything here where you're just like the queen didn't murder everybody, or?
Well, we don't really know about that. We don't really know about her secession too much in the books. You hear that it was kind of a bloody, kind of rough affair. And the reason why it started is because Tigraine, aka Ern's mom, took off to the waste. You catch a moment where she's like, the last daughter Erebandor went off on her own and never came back. And Elaine counters with, well, yeah, but that allowed you to take the lion's throne, and now we're where we are, and we're exactly where we're supposed to be. So that was a big moment. I don't know if I would say it divulges from the book. It's something that's kind of ambiguous, and it fucking totally works.
Cool.
First of all, as annoyed as I get, Elaine has some great stuff in the books. Elaine gets fucking annoying as shit in the books. Don't tell my wife I'm in love. She is badass. She is so badass, dude. The way she handles her mom as the queen, the way she's like, fuck you, taking my test. There's no illusion of safety for who we are now. And I'm powerful and I'm going to be a queen. Like, she manifests that sometimes in the books, but Ciara Coveney nailing this. Like, it's really good. Avienda is...
Does Elaine fuck around with Avienda in the books?
No. There's a lot of tensions there, and they know that they're sharing Rand, and they definitely love each other, especially by the end. They're very close. It starts off in the books that Egwene and Avienda are very close at the beginning, very close friends. Elaine and her become closer because she starts going to try to like teach her how to be not a sister wife, but I forget. I'm drawing a blank on because my mind is going a million miles an hour right now.
It's sister wife.
Is it sister wife? Yeah. I just want to make sure I wasn't being, like Mormon terms or something, polygamous, whatever. I love that they're going polyamorous, not polygamous. It makes so much more sense. Yeah. Especially in the parlance of our times, if you will. It would have made sense to me when I was 14. it makes sense to me now. I like it so much more. And I mean, it's hot, you know, fucking ginger on ginger, fucking crime. It's fine.
Maybe we all have thousands of ginger.
Dude, let's just go through the first episode. If there's anything that there's like major, I know I wrote them down. Honestly, bro, I found myself being incredibly nitpicky on things just because I was trying to find something to be angry about or something that other people will be angry about. Also, Magiden, at the end of the first episode, creating so Jaichim is a character. Obviously, he's spoiler alert, dead now already. But he was made into a gray man. He was just a white cloak who was a dark friend. And, you know, he just really has a hard time in the books and his whole family basically ends up getting tortured and killed in the books because he's not finding Rand and killing Rand, I believe, if I'm remembering it correctly. I'm trying to not cross it up too much. But so his arc
Jeremy, this is why we need you, Jeremy. Book historian.
Yeah, the historian fucker. I'm wondering if that instead of Min, now that I see her going to Tenchiko, I'm thinking that it could be Min and Matt maybe, and that Egwene may pop back into that triad with Elaine and Avienda because Avienda and Egwene will get close, and then that will be, I guess it would make more sense as someone watching the TV show only that those are the three that are kind of there. But Min did say in the first episode how she was destined to fall in love with a man, and it was Rand that she saw. So I think that was in the show. I believe so. But anyways, so that was just one thing I thought of. Going back to the cold open, Suan doesn't answer Leandrin's accusation. She just disseminates and talks about something else. Another thing about the cold open, and John actually touched on this, but I already had it written down from the cold open. And I didn't want to talk about it too much when we were on Saturday. All the Black sisters are using what they call in Harry Potter unforgivable curses. They're cutting people in half. They're throwing fireballs. While Suan was definitely attacking Leandrin and making her bleed and shit, the only other Black Aja sisters that die in that sequence, I could be wrong, I have to watch it closer, is the gal that Leanne beats to death with her staff, which is not channeling. And the weaves that are used by other people are defensive weaves and or at the very least, non-lethal.
Yep.
The other two Black Aja sisters that get killed are by Alana's warders. And Alana tries to kill Leandrin, that was fucking so cool, actually. The blade on the hand. I love that. That was pretty gangster. I love that. But no, man, I was really looking for stuff that really went different from the books.
And they wouldn't be breaking if they were defending themselves, which I guess they did defend themselves, but to defend yourself with aggressive action wouldn't necessarily be breaking the
No, it's not. It wouldn't be breaking the oaths, but I feel like they did that on purpose to show you, like, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys.
Yeah.
And one of the things is too that John went into this, and this is something you think about sort of like the stuff in Harry Potter. Like if you spend a lot of time with a certain wizard teaching you, you'll probably pick up some of their wand flourishes, stuff like that. That is the same with the one power. If you are trained a lot by a certain sister and she makes this hand motion every time she throws a fucking saw blade, you're going to do that too. And if you look at it, all of the other ones are kind of doing that same motion. So they've either been training by Leandrin, or I'm thinking maybe a Forsaken who maybe helped them. It's not like they don't know these weaves, I'm sure, but I'm sure it maybe helped them perfect them. And so this is the best way to do them, or,
So
whatever.
This is bringing up some way outside the show shit that I've probably asked about before and certainly should have asked about before. But if they can be certain that a male channeler is the Dragon Reborn, wouldn't the Reds also want him alive and useful?
Yes, that's why Elida starts talking about wanting to cage him, and they want to cage him and keep him shielded. They're not trying to gentle him; they want to keep him shielded.
Oh, she said shielded
until the last battle. But what you already know what's going on is, and it's ahead in the books a little bit, is that while Elida is dumb and inept, that is truly her plan, is to just, I'm gonna make the Dragon Reborn my like attack hound, basically. Yeah. And there are other people who are working with her for that, but they want to either kill.
Is that what the guy, when they find the collar?
That's basically the same thing that Egwene is, except it takes two females, one to wear each bracelet, and then the male channel.
Oh, there's two bracelets?
They're looking for the other bracelet, I think, and the collar itself.
Okay. I knew they were
And
looking for the
Tenchi
collar. I didn't realize they were
Yeah.
looking for a second bracelet. Okay.
I still love. I will say this again: the magic that I have seen, it compares with nothing that I've seen on screen except maybe Marvel, like Red Witch stuff. And of course, it's Marvel; it better be fucking good. So the fact that
Yeah.
I think that this stuff kind of, there's hokey moments. Don't get me wrong. Like when the sister that's cut in half kind of slides down, it looks like it's on a slip and slide or something down the stairs. But they did other things that were so good, and we're gonna get to all that. Dude, the one gal's reaction to her warders dying, still super fucking creepy. That's the
Yeah.
exact opposite of how you're supposed to feel.
That's right. Yeah, I did not catch that the first time. And they show that immediate juxtaposition of her basically getting wet downstairs when her warder dies. And then
Yeah,
5 minutes later, the absolute crushing of the soul of losing
exactly.
the warder. Yeah.
And it's just, too bad Jeremy's not here because this one's for him. Hey, you know what? It would have been really nice if the most powerful channel in 1,000 years could have fucking done something right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, we got to see some healing, like the battlefield healing was really cool.
That's where my video game note came from. Like when I saw
Yeah.
one person's hurt, one person's applying the med pack, the other person is shielding that. Like I was just like, oh my god, this has got MMORPG PvP co-op.
Absolutely, man. And that whole battle scene, like Leandra, I saw some the white cloaked fellas were talking about like, oh, I guess swords to the heart only kill black warders and stuff because Leandra got stabbed in the fucking heart too. But you got to figure they're probably channeling to minimize her stuff right there as it's going. So and then they heal her right away. Alana is kind of incapacitated a little bit and he dies fast. So that's nitpicky to me. It's like it's a fantasy show.
It is, but I thought the same thing with this being the woke.
It makes me laugh, but at the same time, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
If that's your biggest complaint, fucking get out of here.
I want the outtake.
Go spend your time watching something else.
Yeah.
It's like if you're watching this to make that complaint, I'm sorry for you. I mean, I don't know. Try to get a dog or something or enjoy life a little more. I get it, dude. I was, I get so many things that people are mad about, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? So far in 3 episodes, everything I was mad about or upset about the first, I forgot about. I don't give a fuck. If they keep going like this, I'm so in. So I asked, like John was saying, crawled season 1 and 2 crawled, so this one can fucking sprint, dude.
Yeah. It's I explained it to someone recently, like, they really had to like do some weird shit to catch people who are only going to watch the show up on 3.5 to 4 books, and you couldn't.
I've gotten a couple people to watch it from work too.
Yeah, I got another. I've heard of just a couple people. Like I kind of quit pushing it. Like I was waiting for this season to come out and hopefully be good and just have more to watch. Like you don't want to push a show if you don't know it's going to get more. Like
especially when you don't have enough character development really that you needed in the first 2 seasons. It's a good story. It's not quite enough to really fucking hook you. And then if you watch those first 2 and then get these first 3, I think anybody who likes this kind of TV is going to be hard pressed to not be like, okay, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. So I asked the question when we talked on Saturday, and I think I have an answer so far, at least. Of the Black Aja, there was a red, a yellow, a white, a blue, a gray, and a green. All.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming.
All Ajas, yeah.
I must have missed one because there's 7, right?
Blue, red, yellow, white, gray, brown.
So I haven't seen a brown yet. I haven't seen a brown.
Yeah, well, okay.
Which historically
talk
speaking,
about that a little bit. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. The little person is a brown. Naomi's a brown.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Bing, bang, boom.
So the part where Suan gets captured in where they kind of shield her, that's so cool. I think that I liked how they tried to pull it off with Logain. It came off slightly I didn't realize it was hokey really. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool effect. Watching Swan like literally just pulling through the webs, like I think that's cool. I think that makes sense. There's probably a lot of ways you could have done that, but as a visual medium to see that is pretty cool.
Well, and I think the hokiness of Logain, I don't think it's hokey as much as it, again, they got to crawl to walk. Like you can't do two. You just really need the viewer.
Why does he have spider webs on him? What's happening? Is he blind? You know what I mean? Now they know what.
Yeah, and Mogadin at the end of season 2 just fucking
Yeah,
zipped her
that
up
was
like a
pretty cool.
fucking winter coat.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were talking about, that cold open, it just seems like a fucking whole episode,
Oh,
And
yeah.
dude, what else? There's just so many good little your dragon head up your dragon ass.
I was just gonna, that was my next note.
And then just fucking him posing with the horn and shit. You're just like him in his chambers when he's like, try two hands.
Yeah, so I wrote that down too, man. There it is getting, which it's so funny. That's something that like I don't know that they've done. I mean, I guess other fantasy shows have done a lot of the legwork, but like the sexiness of the books, it's like you have to have it in there because so much of the book is people coming. Even like Aes Sedai just talking about how handsome Perrin is, like like they're not about.
But it's always like. But it's like go ahead. Sorry.
I just gonna say it's not always like we're on the verge of fucking, but everybody is
it's like the
aware.
fucking Todd in Scrubs, innuendo. Like it's constant innuendo with like girls making boys like nervous and be like, whoa, I don't know, the boobies. It's so funny. Oh, another good line. She always wants to leave at dawn. Like, why not after a hearty breakfast? That's all I'm saying, Loyal.
Hey, Loyal. Wake up earlier and have your fucking breakfast.
Yeah, buddy. Exactly.
So I think I'm right. I'm going to come back to this point. I talked to you and the editor and Jeremy about it 2 weeks ago, or I guess a week ago now, 2 episodes ago. I think Kalendor makes an appearance in this season.
I don't think so. I mean, we might get like at the very end, like in the Stone of Tyr, someone showing up. You see it in the hall of the, I forget what it's called, but
I'm not saying Rand's going to wield it and murder thousands of people, but I think we see Kalendor this season. That's I'm still sticking to that prediction. They talk about it way too much. You can't. I just don't think you can plant that seed 2 seasons early. Unless it shows up in the cold open of season 4. That's the only way it does.
Well, like I said, maybe like the Sean-Chan with the just smashing on that little girl on the beach. Maybe we'll get something like that at the end.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, so here's a question for you. I did like what we got to see in Eggy's accepted test. It's a very short clip. I hope maybe we get a few callbacks. Maybe like there's a scene that kind of like makes her reminded of one of her visions or something she's dealing with. But that was pretty intense. Rand had just killed Matt and Perrin. You can see the blood in the water, and then they show up in like full Aes Sedai regalia.
Was that Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't positively tell if that was Elaine.
Yeah, definitely Elaine. And she's all.
Did I blink, or did Elaine go through the?
They didn't show it,
but she did.
Yeah, she did. They told her she's going through it, and then the next clip, she's I'm pretty sure she had her ring on their questioning the people, which we don't really get anything from Elaine's test in the books, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I don't think we get to see any of her. I'd have to look that up, but I really don't think we get it. So that's fine. I wasn't mad about that at all.
Well, then now I'm even more shocked they didn't spend a whole episode on it.
No, dude. You know what? I told Jeremy Rafe was never going to hit me again, and I wasn't lying. He's changed. Okay, he loves me. And,
now, I do not want to forget. I am jumping all the way to the end, and I don't care.
No. Okay.
I just
because I'm afraid if we get into that, I'm so jacked on the 3rd episode. I'm trying to put the first 2 in the rearview mirror as fast as I can.
I'm going to put a big note at the end of my notes. So don't forget.
Okay. Did you the first watch through it? Actually, I just kept going like, why when the bubble of evil is happening in the first episode, I'm like, why are Lan and Moraine just kind of sitting there listening to him scream? I'm like, what's happening? And then I realized they orchestrated this with Lanfear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, if that's not enough to make all those kids turn against you guys, I don't know fucking what is. It's a good thing y'all split up, because if that comes out, it's going to be a fucking problem. I think it'll come out between just like maybe Lan will let it slip to Rand or so. I don't know. I think it'll come out between just those 3 and it's going to be bad. And then they're like, oh, if it goes bad, we kill her. Can you? You tried once. Remember, you fucking cut her fucking head off almost, and she just came back.
We didn't get into this as much as we should have based on the trailer. Does Moraine die this season?
I think so. And maybe not die. In the books, she dies. But there's there's, shall we say, extenuating circumstances. I think that she's going to go away for a while
Okay.
somehow, and if not right now, then at the very beginning, probably of next season would be my guess.
So they'll
Or
find
some-
out after.
I feel
either-
like she'll have a really, if she's next season, if we get a next season and she's there, it will be a small arc and she will be gone in the first few episodes. She won't have a lot of screen time.
Yeah, like it's already been filmed, so she can just take a vacation.
Yeah, maybe. We get another Black Aja member that is a very high ranking member and important at Egwene's test.
Say that again.
We get a important Black Aja member. Her name's Alierin.
Okay.
She's bad news. Nynaeve says something to Matt about is it poison or the cure? She's like, that depends on the wisdom and her patience.
Yeah.
She's sick of you, she will just kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that doesn't inspire confidence. I'm just saying.
I did in the books, are heron marks made from the one power?
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Oh,
yeah.
not all of them.
There was a lot of power wrought blades and stuff made in the War of the Shadow and the War of Power. That a lot of them have been lost or, whatever, but there are heron mark blades that are not power wrought for a blade master if they just can't get their hands on because they're pretty rare. Usually it's kind of like Valyrian steel, kind of handed down a little bit. Not always, but.
So one of those things, they were probably all created 3,000 years ago and every heron mark blade made sense to breaking.
I think they made power wrought blades until Arthur Hawkwing's War, because that was one of the things when the 3 O's came about. It was one of the 3 O's is that you are not allowed to make weapons for men to kill other men.
I'm going to change something real quick. Hopefully we won't get lost. I'm going to just switch my Wi-Fi over, which it should hold on.
One of my notes, Avi and Elaine kiss and fuck.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There is no
I'm sure some people are going to be really mad about it, but I think it's fucking great. You get to see Rand doing a little research with Loyal and the Carithian cycle, trying to figure out what he's going to do next. A lot of that already does, just right out of the book.
There we go.
We good?
Oh, what'd you say? Sorry.
I was just saying, you get so many things that are right out of the books, like almost verbatim. Loyal and Rand, going over the Carithian cycle, trying to figure out what he wants to do next. Yeah. The bubble of evil was pretty great. I saw a theory online that even though they never covered in the books, that maybe that's something that is controlled either only in the show or in general that they never talk about by the Forsaken with the true power. That's why you can't see any weaves around it as people who could channel her in the room. So that could be a thing. Also, the fact that Lanfear didn't know about the Gray Man at all and was like, you guys need to get the fuck out of here now.
Yeah.
They are definitely... so Lanfear plays a game, throughout the books. And when it starts getting towards the end, she really starts to seem like she wants to come back from the light to the light, whether it's to save her own ass or, she just wants to be on the winning side or she truly repents. You don't really ever find out, but they look like they're kind of taking that angle with a little bit of force earlier on. It could be a ruse, we'll see, but she seems like, because she was just talking to Rand in the last episode, not to get ahead of herself, about cutting her bonds, the Dark One, I don't know.
She seems to love lose more than she loves being bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like she would go to the light to be with Rand over ruling the darkness forever.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh, again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to do that. I didn't take actually too many. I gotta let you get through your notes because I was like, if I get too into taking notes, it's going to take me 7 hours to watch these 3 episodes. So
totally. And I got through a page already, and I have very little notes about the second episode. It's good stuff, but I didn't find a lot of that is so.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, did you get the call back from episode 1? You can at least you can at least tell me if it was good or bad, because when Egwene gets pushed off and he's like, how did your trials go? She goes, I can't talk about it. You can at least tell me if it was good or bad.
Oh, you know what? Good call.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because I hated it so much. So you know what? You know why I didn't remember that, Des? Because I didn't care if it was good or bad. It was water. So
well, it was. I think it's still in the editor's cut. Because we know she did something. We know she got. Are you sure?
He skips that completely, and I am sure of that.
Because even in the books, she goes off and becomes a woman.
I mean, not really. She has like a meeting with Nynaeve, like when they're on the bridge, kind of. It's a little bit.
They braid each other's
She's
hair.
been kind of like half-ass apprenticing with her for a while.
Did Matt? Another thing, Matt during the Bubbles of Evil, the book, Matt actually fights back a little bit, right? Or does he stay frozen?
Yeah,
like he does
the
in-
cards. Yeah, the cards were moving. Oh, by the way, the images on the cards were Brigitte, who is a hero of the Horn, Archer Hawkwing, who is a hero of the Horn, and the third one was I think her name is like Amasawa. I can't ever pronounce it right, but she's like basically a girl samurai who's bad as fuck, and she was another hero of the Horn. You see her in the last episode with the Heroes of the Horn. Those are the three card faces that they come out in the Bubbles of Evil to like life size, even though they're only like 2D.
Right.
And Matt
Right.
pins them with the knives. So that was a little different. It was fine with me. It was a little different, but I didn't hate it. It was pretty. You get to see later on in the episode how Lanfear wasn't a part of that. So that's why Nynaeve's was so much worse. And then I'm gonna wait till I get to that too. So fuck, goddamn it,
Yeah.
I gotta get through this. I just want to get to the last episode. That's really all I fucking care
Yeah.
about. Goddamn it. I mean, not really, but I'm so excited. Like I said, I finished it like 3 minutes before we got here.
Yeah.
You see the boys playing snakes and foxes
Yes.
in the tavern, which is cool, but it's more of a kid's game. So it would have been kind of cool if they were playing stones, which you see in the third episode, some people playing stones, which is cool.
Okay.
Kind of like chess, checkers type of thing. Oh, okay. Here's a nitpicky thing. I kind of figured out that there was going to be some sexy time between Elaine and Avienda because she's like, carry my apples. Hey, no fucking way an eel person is carrying fucking apples for nobody. A man might do it for a woman who he's trying to get her attention, like a maiden or something, but that ain't happening. So I guess in that sense, maybe Avi's trying to get her attention, so she's acting
Well,
like a dude, I guess.
Avi's the man in this relationship.
Yeah, she's definitely the top, so that's fine. Let's see. I don't remember exactly what scene I'm talking about, but I just have a note that says there should be warders in this scene. I don't know what it was. I can't remember what it was. I feel like when Swan's walking around the tower, I feel like she would have her warders with her, or there would be some warders.
Swan doesn't
around.
have warders.
She has a warder, yeah.
Really?
In the book, she has a warder. I'm assuming she has one here, maybe not.
I don't.
We haven't seen one, that's for sure. So, I wish I could remember what it's.
I know. I'm trying to think. I have my last note.
In Egwene's vision, they're out there, Three Aes Sedai all alone. They should have warders with them. At least one of them. Lan should be there with Nynaeve, or Gowan should be there with Elaine, or Egwene, or something. Like they should have at least one or two warders there. It makes more sense, but I get it's a vision. Whatever, it's fine. I'm not mad at it. It's just like
We need the only reason I understand Teleron Riyadh is because of doing 150 episodes with you. They need, of all the shit they have slowed this show down to a screeching halt to do scenes about, we need a 12-minute info dump on Teleron Riyadh.
I feel like you're going to get it at next episode or episode 5 because they're setting it up. And I'll tell you why. All of the Terangrial that were stolen by the Black Aja, almost all of them are exclusively something called Dreamweavers, which you channel in them. Some of them you can just hold, other them you channel into, and they automatically take you to Teleran Riyadh, even if you're not a dreamer. And that is one of the most important things. And you see a few other things that I don't know if they took or not. It is mentioned in the third episode. It's called the Sakarnan. I didn't know that was for women. I thought that was for men. Demandred finds it at some point, I thought. So maybe they're changing that up. Maybe no Demandred. Maybe she'll find it. I'm wondering why they didn't go with the Choden call. Maybe because it sounds chode. I don't know, but that's what the access key is called. Maybe we'll get it later. But it's funny because the Sakarnan is something that I barely remembered that it was called that. And it's front and center. So I don't hate that. That's showing knowledge of the books because it's a very small thing that you hear about the Sakarna. And it's actually not even in the books. It's written by Brandon Sanderson. It's that one thing that has like a chapter by itself about Demandred going to achieve. You get the Sakarnan from the Crate Dragon or whatever. You get to see Lan's ring and him kind of propose to Nynaeve. That was pretty cool. Perrin's ring getting cut and half and kind of like, severing his old life from him. That's not in the books, but good.
Neither was the wife or the ring, so why not?
Right. So let's go ahead and just clip that fucking thread from the timeline and we can forget about it.
Yeah.
I really thought we might get my prediction with Alana bonding Perrin because they're hanging out at the apple trees, but not yet. But I still feel like that might be coming. So like I said, Jachim Carradine and Moggy. We talked about that already. And Agenor is the Forsaken in the books who makes most of the shadow spawns. So we already know he's not going to be in the show. So transferring that to Mogadin is fine with me. They've done, especially that third episode. Fuck, man. Let's
Good.
see. Gwen won't call Swan mother in their little bar when they're like drinking. She's like, I'm fucking out of here as soon as I get my ring out.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Again, Insane Rand, Yosha, fucking get it, dude. Like that was intense. Him and Perrin have both Rand was a little better than Perrin at first. Perrin was not good at first. And the third episode with Perrin, I was impressed with how far he's come as an actor.
He is. I was the same way with Perrin. It's like, I can see this guy doing it, but he's not doing it. I hope he can get it done.
Right. And I love it right now. So
my last note of episode 1 is Matt gets an Aiel wink.
Yeah. Oh, he's a bad kisser. Obviously, he's got a bunch of nicks on his neck. So I mean, he's not dead, but he's not a terrible kisser, but he's also not stellar.
I almost texted Jeremy a joke about Loyal playing Maiden's Kiss, and then 20 minutes later, I get the Aiel women begging Loyal to play.
I know, kind of cornering him and shit. Why don't you guys calm down? Like a fucking Jesus.
Is everything
we made back in the day? Jesus.
Is everything bigger on you, Loyal?
Oh God, please. That would be hilarious.
They may as well have said that. They may as well. They did it
with your little quill.
What's that?
She's like, with your little quill with scribbling or your little scribbling or something like that. He's just like, if it's like they say black don't crack, well, Ogiers don't blush because you can't see it.
You can't see it.
Dude, here's a question. When Egwene comes out of her trial, she's covered in blood.
Yeah.
Who's blood? Did Rand fucking kill Elaine and Nynaeve and she barely escapes? Did they kill Rand? Whose blood is it?
Did he fuck that horse to death while she was on top of it?
Did Rand get his monthly visitor?
Did you? Have you seen the zoo?
Have you seen the zoo?
I was really
sorry. I got another note. Nynaeve, most useless channeler in 1,000 years.
I get it, but if she can channel when she's angry, like, what's it going to take to get you mad? Like, speaking of mad, the fucking look Moraine gives Lan because when they're sitting there listening to the Bubbles of Evil attack 5, and then they're being cool and they know that shit's happening. But then Nynaeve
screams Lan, and he jumps up with his fucking
runs.
sword.
Moraine gives her the fucking, like, you think with your head, not your dick, buddy. You're my warder.
Well, but you know what? Honestly, that's kind of funny too, but it's really poignant because in the books, you do see his loyalty is starting to become to Nynaeve despite his bond with Moraine. So
she knows
I think that's just a subtle little thing that really reinforces it. I think it's good. I think it's great.
There's nothing subtle about it.
I know, but if you're looking for shit to be angry, you're going to hate that instead of realizing it's actually pretty genius.
I was really surprised because I haven't figured this out in the book yet, that the peace in Andor has only been for 20 years. Like I had this idea in my head, like everything's been cool for hundreds of years. Like
Morgase Trakan, the first of her name.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure you noticed this, but when Naomi attacks Varen and her sister, you see the difference between the attacks, right?
I may have, but I can't recall.
So she kind of does the weave at both of them, and Varen kind of does one of these, like I'm getting away from it. She slaps half the weave away with her hand.
Oh,
so that's why her mind's not gone, and her sister's mind is like, Adelaus has no idea, and she's not prepared. She's a scholar. She's not thinking this is a fight. She's just like, we got to protect these items, and then she just catches it. Varen's, we've told you about Varen's arc, and there's a few things that I guarantee they're gonna hit that arc. There's a few things that she says, I'm like, oh motherfucker. They're already leaving breadcrumbs, and I love it. Love it.
I thought, because we have no idea how old any of these women are. I thought it might just be because she's 100 years older and a little.
Well, and Varen is like, probably 150, 200 years old. She's definitely an elder Aes Sedai. Her hair is that I kept saying it was the ancient symbol of the Aes Sedai. It's actually a chapter head in the books It's the stone ring that they give Egwene that is also a Dreamweaver.
Is it
It's
what?
like
Is it?
it's
Is
a
it her
black and white
hair?
ring. Her hair that's like the bun on the side. It's got the white and
Yeah.
black swirl. Go Google it and you'll see what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
okay.
I love that they're saying the shadow this year instead of the dark. There was never like the dark side or the dark in the books. It was always the shadow. It just sounds so much more authentic and legit to me. Also, this is nitpicky too. It's only been 20 years since the Aiel War, and Aiel haven't really been seen since. So you're not just gonna have fucking 5 Aiel walking around Tarvalin like it's no fucking big deal. They would get some looks, or whatever, 3, however many of them there are in Tarvalin. It's gonna be maybe not a problem, but people are gonna be like, "The fuck."
Like
So
like they may as well like they give Loyal. Like what the fuck?
well, maybe a little more than that because the Aiel War was pushing, and only got stopped right outside the White Tower on the slopes of Dragonmount. They were coming for they didn't stop at Carheen and they kept going towards the White Tower and then they turned back.
See, that's the kind of
Um,
shit. Again, the fact that you say that was 20 years ago, like that's what supports my theory that news travels. Like these people, like the I know the breaking was a long time ago, but like if these huge wars are happening to secure large areas, information is at least traveling within these large areas.
yeah.
And then it's easier to get information over the fences and then circulate within the large
Well,
areas
and you
again.
do, but you'll find like any great game of telephone, the story changes a lot from town to town, and
Yeah.
it gets either bigger or smaller or more good or more evil or more fantastical depending on who's retelling it.
Yeah. Every gangster rapper raps about guns, but few
Right.
have done it without words.
Not all white people are clan members, but all clan members are white. Insert Nazis.
I'm
Whatever.
just saying.
So just a couple quick hits and then I'm done on this episode. Leandra, Andrea, Blue. Actually, some of the stuff you already said about having one from each Aja. God, I hope we get. I don't know what that says. We got to thank the light in episode 1.
I can hear you. I'm going to go to the bathroom while you finish up your.
I love that they're just like, let us in, and they're like, no, and then like they just blow the fucking doors off of everything. The costumes as always, like Joya's earrings and shit like that. Jeez, I can't even read these. The drawing of Rand that you see with Ishmael in the sky. That's a direct from the books, and it's so great. It has not enough ale in the world to deal with this. Moraine's comment of Lanfear is not well liked. And I think that's it. I guess that's it. On to episode 2. Let's see. I even have a note saying, Game of Thrones execution style. Like it's literally it was really hardcore. I certainly wasn't expecting that either. I was like, okay, they're doing this for whatever exposition, and then they just murder him, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, holy shit, like what's happening?
Yeah, that was crazy. Go ahead. I already started a little bit with episode 2, so what else do you have?
You see, I just mostly just some things that I kind of noticed about that episode. You see Gawain as a baby in the throne room. She's obviously pregnant with Elaine. You see Galad as like a 5-year-old or something. What else? I was like, who's escorting Morghese? You find out his name is Gabriel, who is actually, we will find out soon who he is, but very important character. I didn't know. I mean, they had a lot of stuff. Well, I heard about possibly another Forsaken, and people were guessing that it's Gabriel. But we also get another Forsaken that people were like, "Oh, we're gonna have one or the other," and we got both, which is awesome. The scenery is so epic so far.
So I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I'm also right here. Gabriel was not the one we saw meet with Mogadin later.
It is. That's okay. What I said. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but yeah,
I
have a couple notes.
It was driving me nuts.
Yeah, no, yes, we do, and yes. So I'm like, oh, Galad going great. The hall, you can see when Elida and Morghese first come in, you can see that the hall's been repaired, but there's still like some chunks and stuff that they didn't fix, and she notices it right away. Morghese noticed what's going on right away, even though Elaine won't tell her. They are smattering Elida's costumes with so much black, like Leandrin.
Oh.
So I'm wondering, because she's technically not Black Aja. She's just fucking incompetent. But I wonder if they might, I don't know. I
She's
don't know if
at
it's
least
foreshadowing.
going to be in cahoots. If she's not officially black, she's got to deal with someone to
Yeah,
secure
when I
her
think she
area.
gets kind of, you've heard them use the term compulsion. I think that she was under a good amount of compulsion at times as well. You see the spine of the world. It's cool. You see some shots of where they're coming into the waste and the fog. It's pretty cool. Loyal addresses the longing in the second episode about how he's, not kind of feeling good, and he's looking a little older and stuff like that. Just small little you see him lock the waygate with the leaf instead of having them channel, and he's like, my feeling is like maybe you can only get these leaves from Ogier, and he managed to procure one somehow, or in the White Tower, because normally he's like, wait, enough of that channeling. So you get a little exposition that says, oh, you can open them without channeling. Look, I have this leaf. And so
they keep referring to him as Builder without explaining that. So they're like, at least I don't think they've explained that in the past. Oh no, I guess they talked about how they made the ways. So, but
they made the ways. A lot of there were Ogier stonemasons that built a lot of the White Tower.
But viewers don't know that.
I don't think so yet. I think there was one of the origins that we didn't get in season 2, what we got in season 1, I think explains that. About how they're called builders. And the Shan-Chan call them gardeners, but they're warriors, not builders. So they're like really kick-ass stonemasons. Let's see. The casting of Galadin going perfect. Fucking good. Pompous tosses.
Dude. I would let them bang me in their quarters.
I know. Matt on both sides. That's a little hokey, but it's pretty funny.
Well, especially because he's just like, Matt's doing his best to spend his days fucking all day, and they're really, really horning in on his his competition there.
I'm gonna make a prediction that Nynaeve will kind of fix her block by healing Matt's memories.
Oh.
Also,
well, once she realizes, what she's got to do is get her head out of her ass and realize that being a wisdom and an Aes Sedai are not that fucking different. So just quit being so fucking stubborn and use your skills.
And her anger, you'll notice, like, she can't just be angry or scared, like how like certain superheroes or whatever, they're, when they manifest their powers, it's usually in a time of like great need or something like that. They're gonna die, and then they figure out that they have these powers. It's not the same for her. She gets mad like fucking men, stabbing each other with swords, diseases, killing people, and then she gets, because she wants to heal everybody. She wants to make everyone better. So that's kind of, that's where her, as an actor, that's her motivation, if you will.
Yeah.
Also, we get a fucking sheep herder. Fucking finally. God damn it. When him and Rand are fucking sword fighting and on the way to the place.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? I really thought that after all this time, once we got it, it was going to feel really forced, and it wasn't. Yeah. He's like, "What's on your mind, dude?" Like, brother.
Well, I love it too when, I don't remember who it is, but someone's chastising Rand for even dealing with swords, and he's just like, it centers me, and Land fucking talks to me like a person. Like I
right. That's Moraine actually, but Avienda is kind of chastising him to Moraine and Egwene while they're practicing. She's like, because Aiel don't use swords, and she's like, if he's gonna be ill, you gotta fucking drop that shit. And Egwene's like, fucking settle down, okay? He's trying, okay?
But I just love that Rand is just like this. It just did a really subtle but beautiful job of just like how much of a mentor Lan is to Rand.
Yeah, it's like, it's the one thing I can control right now.
Yeah.
So I get that. Yeah. I think as a man, that hits, whether you're heterosexual, trisexual, doesn't matter who you want to be with as a male with certain like ideas that you grew up with of what a man is supposed to be, and you feel out of control of everything. That is a really good way to get your center back, is by having one thing, whether it's meditation, reading, whatever. It's, you can extrapolate that to a lot of things, which is cool. I think when you get real world themes like that and something that's so fantastical, it helps it hit. Did you catch the other ex-Damani in this episode?
No.
Last time we saw her, she was fucking screaming and crushing some Soldam. You know what I'm talking about?
Not the
Rima Sedai.
No. Where?
So the yellow Aes Sedai that Elaine and Nynaeve get with last season, and they kill her warder, and then she just fucking smashes the soul dams down and just breaks all their bones.
Yes.
She's like really like ebony, dark skinned, black.
Yeah.
Woman, beautiful.
The one that they're
Got
like
different-
trapped with, the one that they're trapped with for a while.
Yeah, kind of hiding out.
They're trying to figure out
They're trying to figure out the caller.
Yeah.
Obviously, she escaped because she's in the tower.
Wow.
She was one of the Aes Sedai who were working on Matt, trying to fuck with his head. And Nynaeve talks to her right afterwards, and she's like, "Rima." I was like, "What? How the fuck did she get away?" And her warder's dead, so she should be pretty fucked off.
So now I know she should be having a tough time, but at best, you go through 6 warders in a lifetime.
Not really. A lot of them won't take another warder after their warder dies, and a lot of them they have them for like the warders do live longer, but not as long as Aes Sedai. So usually they'll have one warder and then he'll die of old age, and then a lot of times they don't get another one unless they really need one. Like they're out doing work like Moraine or somebody. When you're at home in the tower, you don't necessarily need a warder. They get bored. They carry books, especially if you're a Brown Sisters warder. You're a book carrier.
So young battle Aes Sedai are the only ones.
No, not only it's kind of a one of those things. If you're traveling around, you kind of need that man at arms, if you will, to protect you when you can't channel in certain situations. But they're just downplaying a little bit in the show. That's why I was saying there should have been warders with them, and even in Egwene's vision, even if it was just someone that we knew, like Land or Matt or Perrin. Even maybe Perrin is Egwene's warder. Who knows? But they should have had someone who was representing the warder in that. If it was a book scene, which I know they're not doing that. And we watched Aes Sedai walking around the tower grounds fighting with each other with, what's her face was the only one with warders. So,
I just assumed it was like if someone's husband dies if your husband dies when you're 30, no one's going to call you a whore for getting married.
I think it's one of those things like anything, right? It depends on the individual.
Yeah.
If I have my best favorite dog pass, I mean, I'm not going to go get a dog tomorrow, but I'm going to be looking to rescue another dog as soon as possible because that's my heart. That's who I am. And I wouldn't want to be alone. I'd want to have that partner in whatever I was trying to do. Especially if you're doing some shit like Moraine is doing, you got to have someone to watch your back.
Well, if you're in the war
zone. You got people
zone.
like Big Red who rescued a dog once, and then Chitwit died 12 years later, and he was like, "I'll never have another dog," and he gets tears in his eyes. It's like you have different types of people, right? So I think it's while it's a magically based connection that can. Obviously, some people can fucking ignore it or just enjoy fucked up shit because she was literally like Niagara Falls after they died, man.
She's gonna get another one just to murder it.
Yeah, no shit.
Well,
and it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, well, she was a dark friend, but were her warders not, or like just they were, and she's like, fuck them, I don't care. I don't know. Lots of questions.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Let's see. You see them setting up Min to see the Tower Schism. They're putting around all those people so she can look at Aes Sedai's, and she's like, something's gonna go down. Let's see. Morghese is a bit Cersei-ish. Yes. So you get she's a seer or whatever. We don't really, the shit between her and Matt, it's like, it's okay, whatever. That's the only reason why I was thinking like maybe she'll end up with Matt somehow, because why would you give them this exposition together of, him being sorry and her being mad and what she sees about him, which I can't wait to talk about, but we can't yet. And I was gonna say, Loyal has really grown on me. At first, I did not like the look of the character. His voice was good. His mannerisms were great, but now like it's all kind of rounded out for me, and I do really enjoy it. Just the whole thing with Matt making fun of the princes is just so awesome to me. That's pretty much it.
We get to the 2 rivers fast. We get to the 2 rivers way faster than I expected, which thank God. Like, because we've got 3.
Well, because remember how long they're in the ways getting there in the Shadow Rising?
Yeah.
Like, and all the bullshit with Fael.
Well, they could have spent an episode and a half with everybody walking in different directions and just like getting to know, anyway,
that's the only way that I made it. So sorry, let me finish yours. I'm sorry, I'm being awful. Finish.
Well, you're connecting all these dots in your head. And I just like have these like 3 points of light that I can barely latch onto, and you're you're like Mogadin. You're just weaving all of this. You're
Just
30,
latch.
40,
Just go ahead and just latch.
just
I'll give you all the milk, Des.
40 years worth of information. But yeah, I'm glad they got there. And it was a little like, I feel like
It was a little
The
Lord of the
way-
Rings walking simulator, you know?
well, and it wasn't, and they could have easily done that. But I feel like parents should have bumped into somebody on the outskirts of town and been rushed in to hide. The fact that he just walked through the two rivers, it took
Absolutely.
ever
Absolutely.
for
Like,
anyone to recognize him. And then once someone did recognize him, they're like, everyone's looking for you. Everyone's looking for you. It's like, well, obviously not. Like, I know I got a
not
fucking
that hard.
I know I got an afro and a little facial hair, but like,
Yeah, I'm fucking
Yeah.
coming in looking like
it
Afro.
was.
Man.
I think that
Mr.
was
Loba
for
Loba.
us. I think that was for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Just like, let's
I agree
walk
with
through
you.
the
Maybe
two
like run into
rivers.
somebody in a field or something that
Yeah.
says like, "Hey, Karen, you know you can't be here, right?" Like, dude,
Yeah, let me sneak
and
you in the
what's
back
wrong with
door.
your eyes?
Yeah.
I just kept. Lisa's like, "What's wrong with his eyes?" And I just kept thinking of that part in Shaun of the Dead. Is like, "All right, Mary, what's wrong with your eyes?"
You got hey Gwen, you got red on you. But other than that, other than how they did that, it was a little hokey to waltz into town and then be freaked out about him waltzing into town all of a sudden.
Well,
Um,
and then
but
later
I
when
like
he's like, "Oh, I got to get out of here," and then Gwen's mom's like, "You're not leaving." I'm like, you were just telling him to leave, like yesterday, like 2 days ago. You're like, "You got to get the fuck out of here, Baron. It's not safe for you." He's like, "Well, you're not leaving." It's like, what? I mean, that is a pretty quick change, and I mean, that is kind of how it happens because he starts to exhibit leadership right away. So I get it, but also another place. First of all, they probably would have seen as how they have people on the roofs watching for Trollocs. More should have been made about Loyal, because that's one of the things in the books. They say people mistake him for a Trolloc. And
Yep.
there's like, you see the little kids kind of playing and then they just kind of stop and kind of go like,
It's time for bed.
"Oh, shut up."
Good night.
Yeah, well then go to bed.
You
Um,
go to bed.
yeah, you go to bed, Lexa. But you know, they kind of
Yeah.
like slow down and like it's like homeboy in Office Space when he's like listening to the hard ass rap song, and then the homeless guy goes by him and he's like rolling up the window. That's what those little kids are. They're like, "Hey, man." Oh. I mean,
I can't talk to my mother, so I talk to my diary.
Exactly. But you know, you get at least a little bit of a thing. But like, honestly, the Aiel would be as big of a like, "The fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Because they haven't really seen Aiel, you know. So, but
So,
I mean, I guess White
who-
Cloaks and Trollocs are coming to town, so maybe they're not that as excited.
I another question I know you've answered 100 times. Who do the Trollocs work for?
The Dark One.
Okay.
I mean, okay, the Dark One, yes, but usually
So there's no
they're kind of
Trollocs.
like they're kind
There's-
of like the Forsaken's armies, basically. So usually there's Forsaken going all these Trollocs. They're helping them get from place to place or directing them. It's not, you know, it's the Dark One's lieutenants who are doing it. So
now, is it the Fade?
and-
The Fades work for the Dark Ones. The Trollocs work for the Fade.
the Fades are the generals. The
Right.
I don't know how much
Pawns,
over-
the
even say.
king.
Yeah, the
bishop,
Madrals are
the
like the Madrals are the NCOs. They're the people who really win the war.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the fucking, you know, like the lieutenants and the sergeants that
The
really
reason I'm
really
wondering,
got shit done, you know.
I'm just wondering who's leading this charge of Trollocs raiding the two rivers over and over again. Because it doesn't. If Rand is, are they just like, well, maybe Rand will be there this time, or maybe Rand will be here this time? Like, why would they
Well,
continue to raid this small village?
So you may want to cut this out, or
Fuck
but
that. I'm
you,
not cutting.
okay.
Either say
fuck-
it or
fuck
don't say
spoilers.
it.
Okay. So it's Pot and Fane, more or less. He is becoming something more than just a dark friend,
Okay.
especially now that Ishmael is dead. Ishmael was kind of his master, if you will, and was kind of pulling his strings. And now he's kind of been distilled like ×3 as a dark friend, Pot and Fane has. And so now he's like has this compulsion to find Matt and Rand. And so he leads the White Cloaks knowing that they'll look for Perrin, but he figures if he gets them to do enough damage with the Trollocs fighting each other, even though he's kind of like playing both sides. And he's kind of on his own at this point in the show. he may be having a Forsaken who's, you know, playing his strings, but in the show he's kind of doing his own thing. Or in the books, he's doing his own thing at this point.
It's exactly like Darth Vader
Blowing up Alderaan,
arresting Princess Leia and Han Solo. It brings Luke Skywalker. So he's just trying to wreak enough havoc,
right?
So that
right, plot
Rand
device
comes
to bring Luke.
rivers.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Even in the Last Jedi, you know, they gotta have enough shit go bad for Luke to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a standard plot device. It works.
So it is the hero's journey.
Yeah, it turns out it's the facts. Like I said, I really love Elaine's character coming into her own, and she's like, "I'm gonna earn it." I'm like, "Fucking earn that shit, queen!" Like, definitely, like, respect. I really like her character a lot, much more than the books in many ways.
I already think, shout out to the editor out there. You're doing God's work. I love you. I feel like he may already be regretting completely removing Min from season 2. Like, I get that she didn't play a part in the finale of season 2, and it didn't make any sense in that movie.
Well, her conversations with Matt won't make sense.
Right.
This season so far, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's in the tower and she's kind of playing an important role to Suan because she knows what she is, it will make that a little harder, but not that much harder, honestly. Just like, oh, you're back in the tower. Like, how did Rima live? You know what I mean? We're not going to get that right now, but she's alive and she's there.
No, I guess so. No, I guess it'll play okay to just have her. Yeah, because you're right. Because I think they do talk about it enough. If he's going to have to include a lot of conversations that he may normally cut out because it's just mulling over last season. But now he'll just have to leave all of that exposition in, and I think it'll make sense. You're the man, editor. Thanks.
Yep, and always,
and I am loving
standing invitation.
I am loving having Minute. I don't know why I like her character so much. Maybe
She's
I just
snarky,
like
dude.
her.
It's funny.
That's not, you know, and her and Matt. Hopefully, I really think they're going to end up together. How bad is Elida? Just how bad is Elida? Is she
more incompetent than bad?
Oh.
What? Just ambitious, nearsighted, and ego-driven for sure, and really incompetent and a bad leader. There's a reason why she's not the first sitter anymore. It wasn't just because she fucking. In my opinion, I don't have really anything to back that up. It's just the vibe I get from everything I've seen. Or, you know, basically it was going to be her or Swan or Moraine probably to be the Emerald seat. And Swan decided, I'll stay here. Moraine said, I'm going to go look for Rand. And Elida lost. So she got pissy and left the tower. She also had a foretelling saying that Andor's royal line would be instrumental to the last battle, which it really is, because we're talking Gawain, Galad, Elaine, Rand, you know, so it's very important.
Is it Elida being compulsed?
I don't know if she is yet. I think she will be eventually for sure.
What's with the shaky hand? The shaky hand, and then is that compulsion?
I'm wondering. That was my guess. I don't know. Like maybe her trying to fight it or something.
Yeah.
Either that or because she's so stressed out about what she's planning to do.
Because Gabriel's laying a compulsion on this whole castle, right?
That's what mostly Morghese, but I'm thinking probably her too.
Well, he fooled Elaine into thinking that he fooled Elena into thinking that they've been hanging out and drinking for years.
Yeah, and that's not the truth. He's only been out for 2 months.
Yeah,
or however long it's been since Falm, because she released him.
I think Moghedin said 2 months. I think she actually said.
Yeah, real quick on Moghedin, when she's creating the Gray Man and she's like, "I need you to fucking find somebody for me," and she's just like, I'm like, finger fucks his mouth with black.
Dude,
it's very disturbing, right?
I don't know if she tasted it, but she was smelling those fingers. Yeah.
No, she was like, dude, I was like, this is a fucked up. Like, I think a lot of people hate on that scene, but I think that scene's really awesome and fucked up.
It really is, because it's just like this woman is.
I'm just gonna use 2 fingers now, Jai Ching. You want to be brown?
For all the Forsaken to be scared of her, like that just shows. I mean, they're all scared of her.
It's funny; they're definitely all wary of her, and that's something that's a little different in the book. She's a little bit, I don't want to say mocked, but people are kind of like, yeah, she's capable, but she's a fucking.
Oh well, coward. She's gonna die this season, so they're just gonna. That's why we're just getting.
I think so.
I think we're gonna lose a dark friend every season. I think we lost We lost
should lose 2
Ishii.
this season. Definitely
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Um,
You know what I can't find is now that I know that everyone wears them, like I thought it was just Ishii's special thing. Now that I know that the 3-finger ring is a Forsaken thing, I want one so fuck. I couldn't. I
it's
googled
not
it.
just a Forsaken thing.
Really? Who else? Who wears
Luce
it?
Theron has one in the Age of Legends.
Oh, you're right.
All the men do it. I think that's their version of the Great Serpent Ring, maybe, or
But
maybe it's some
Mogadin
sort of
has
an
it,
angle. I don't know. Maybe it was like a symbol of them. I have no idea. I have no
Okay.
idea the significance of those rings, especially now. I used to think maybe there were something like I said.
I
an
spent
angel or-
20 minutes trying to Google where to buy. You can buy every version of an Aes Sedai ring, but I couldn't figure out what word combination to put together. I'm going to go buy some brass wire and just fucking bend one tomorrow. Like I fucking
Baling wire and paint it gold. I don't care. Fuck it. I don't care, bro.
I'm going to stick my
so-
fingers down your fucking throat. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, God, dude, that was just fucking. Oh my God.
Oh,
all right. Well,
sorry. Are you done with
No.
episode 2?
I was just gonna say, all right, you ready for this?
Okay.
'Cause I'm
My
gonna
last
fucking-
note for episode 2 is I noticed my first green screen.
Oh, you did.
when Rand and it makes sense. Rand and Moraine are literally on a mountaintop. Like they're not
No,
on.
that's
a
when
hill.
she's chastising him about the sword.
Yeah, that was
Or
the
not
first
chastising,
like.
per se.
Oh, they didn't go to the top of a mountain and film this live.
Yeah.
They green screened this, so it's all good. But it was weird because
Or they might have been on top of the mountain, but they weren't on the edge.
Yeah, they were probably
So-
sitting on a rock somewhere outdoors.
Yeah.
But it stood out so much, and that's when you realize how much they don't fucking do it. Like how in shot everything is, because it was weird when it wasn't.
So I was worried that
Justin's worried,
Rafe was
everybody.
I was worried that Rafe was gonna shoot his wad in that first episode, and then he was gonna come home from the bar and beat me again. But this is a better episode to me than the first one. The first one is definitely action packed. It's great. There are so many things from this episode that are direct calls to the books, and a couple of things that are a little bit tweaks that I am totally okay with and I love. First of all, first note, Raven, he's Gabriel. That dude's a fucking very important Forsaken. And Matt's storyline and Avienda's storyline, and obviously everything that happens in Camelin, the fact that he is so tight with Elaine and she thinks they've been buddies forever is, like you said, awesome and scary. That actor is killing it. It's not maybe like physically exactly. They describe Gabriel as like a kind of a large man, barrel chested, older man, but very handsome. I think he is his mannerisms and his attitude is perfect. He's very much like how he caresses Mogadin's cheek. You see him doing that kind of stuff with Morghese and stuff. You hear he does that in the books when he's trying to get her. She'll start to question things, and then he'll be like, "My love," and she'll forget. Also, we get Samael. Samael is not even that prominent until later in the books. He looks fantastic. The scar across his face. He's short. He sounds awesome. I wasn't sure we'd get him. I'm pretty stoked about that. Seeing the Forsaken with their machinations, and literally the other two just barely go, and then Mogadin's there, and he's got his like the double crosses already. That's why the Shadow loses, right? You even see you were talking about the Trollocs in the Stone of Tyr in the books. There are different factions of Trollocs fighting each other in the stone. Some of them are Lanfears, some of them are Belals. So they're always kind of doing their own shit. Traveling. God damn it. Thank you. It's fucking it's as perfect can be. The only way I would have liked it more is if they fucking did what they describe in the books, is they'll almost like draw a line in the air and then it'll just drop almost like a Tron style. I'm fine.
Oh, right, because they're not going to be able to use this to cut people in half.
They will still be able to, I bet you.
I mean, we saw them cut someone in half already, so that's done. But they
Right.
won't be able to use this. I
do like how they just, I even said, I go, just make it like Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And it was money, right? I mean, that's basically what it was. No gold edges, which, you don't want to steal it from Doctor Strange, but maybe something can happen later that's where those edges come from. It could just be that, Shadow Spawn cannot go through gateways. Dark Friends can, but Shadow Spawn, anything that's created as a Shadow Spawn will die immediately going through a gateway. So maybe they'll just twist that into something if they get to go that far.
So a gray man can't do it. Is a gray man a Shadow Spawn?
No, a gray man could not do it. They are definitely Shadow Spawn. Dude, we get mention of two more Forsaken, Grandel and Semirage, who are very important, very awesome, very powerful women, and very fucking sick, very sick, both of them, messed up.
Tell me about the hearts, the Black Aja hearts. Is that-
That's just like if you've ever heard people talk about like a Taliban, like terrorist cell. You know,
Yeah.
there's only so many people in a cell, and they don't really know anyone outside of their cell except like one of the people in each cell will know each other. It's to kind of keep things anonymous so people can't rat out, basically.
It's very what's again another Marvel thing. Cut a head off and two more grow in his place. What's that called? The main
Hydra.
Yeah, it feels very Hydra. Like we killed the Shadow.
I was like, the Targaryens? What?
Yeah, totally. Because yeah, even if you find 3 or 4 and kill them, you'll be like,
well, and like if you want to catch one and like torture them, you're not they literally like they can't tell you because they don't know. And I mean, I'm sure some of them know, but
yeah,
it's just one of those things. You notice they changed this title sequence a little bit.
Oh,
they do the red shot of like the tapestry of the hall of the tower, and it kind of like spins away into the.
By that time, I was like, I gotta fucking get through this, so I skipped it.
It could be completely different, but that was the one that I noticed.
It's actually going to come on here in a minute, so I'm going to turn away from you and watch it. Actually,
okay.
I love her.
She's so just Bjork creepy.
Good.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, do you remember in the book when we have the gray man in the tower?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it was driving me nuts.
The biggest difference is that Shiriam is the one that comes up, not Varen.
Yeah.
So, which I'm curious if is Shiriam even in this season? I haven't seen her on the notes yet. I'm sure she probably is at some point, but maybe she was working on something else and they couldn't get her or whatever. But I'm loving Varen's character right now. She says something about God. What does she say? Nynaeve says something to Varen, and instead of answering, Varen goes, "Perhaps you're right." And it was like something to do with the shadow. Like it was just so ambiguous that really gives a hint of.
We came out here and someone stabbed, or someone else stabbed him, or he was already stabbed, or maybe there was someone else.
She's like, they walk away, and she goes, "You notice she didn't ask who stabbed him."
Yeah,
It was like, "Oh, there's a gray man, big deal." Like that would be a fucking huge deal.
It was driving me nuts. Like literally right before that scene, I was like, "How the fuck did the editor cut the crossbow guy out of season 2?" Like, I don't know why it was in my head that was in season 2. This whole scene where where those two get attacked and then like it was crazy. Like just as my mind was thinking, how could the editor cut that out of season 2? I saw it unfold in season 3. I was like, oh, okay, there we go. There we go.
That's funny. You had it in your head like as canon from like the books, but you thought it was show.
No, I knew it was in the books, but of course I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Were you thinking that it already happened because of the book knowledge? That's cool. Yeah. Actually, I've done my job. That's great. We get a mention of Kalendor a couple times. We get Mazrim Taim. He's a very important character, a false dragon. I mentioned Elida shaking. Is she under compulsion? What's going on? And that is the second gray man that was sent after Nynaeve, specifically, I believe. And that's Moggy going after Nynaeve, which they didn't have beef yet in the books, but they have beef later for some reason. So they're definitely setting up that confrontation between Nynaeve and Moggy. And I think that I hope it does. They capture her within, and they start making her teach them, which is pretty cool because they start to get to learn a lot of stuff from the Age of Legends. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, dude. Exactly right. Exactly. Let's see. The whole symbol under the sun's bed and her trying to get him to return to her. Like I don't know what that is. I'm confused. I don't know if that's her. They're trying to show that she's just kind of crazy, lost her shit, or
it's because as annoying as it was that they made up this sun, at least there's like I feel better that like obviously I don't want it to eat up too much time because it's not from the books, but Rafe at least has a plan. I think her son is going to come back broken. I think it's sometimes things are better off dead. I think that's what's going to happen. I wonder if
they're going to try to trick her because in the books, Ishi's happy to have died. You saw that even as Rand killed him, he's kind of like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The Dark One says, nope, I'm going to snatch your soul and put you back into somebody else. So what if her son ends up becoming Moradin, who is Ishi reincarnated somehow? I just thought about it. I'm like, why else would we be having someone who's going to be reborn again? And I'm like, is she? Maybe as Moradin. Although they kind of seem like they're leaning into Lanfear being that final confrontation. And that would be pretty hardcore because that would mean that the final battle for the light versus the shadow is Rand and Lanfear, which is his ex-girlfriend. So that's
yeah,
poetically fucked up.
yeah.
Um,
Why do you keep bringing me here?
yeah,
I didn't.
exactly. I didn't. You brought me here. Elida says something about it being an important day. I feel like we're gonna get the coup maybe this season, or maybe real quick. I think maybe episode 5. I don't know.
What is this
Like I
coup
said,
you speak of?
so at a certain point, you have this schism where you have this what just happened where the Black Aja members are leaving the tower, but not all of them. Then you have Elida coming in, and with the help of the Black Aja who are left in the tower, they overthrow Suan, still her, kick her out from being Amarillo's seat, and Elida gets put in her place. So I'm thinking that this is kind of a plan that's going to happen. That's why she's talking about it's a big day. I'm thinking maybe she's nervous, or like I said, she's trying to fight the compulsion that whoever's maybe putting on her. I just don't know. I'm sure we'll probably find out. I hope we'll find out. But you get another Aes Sedai named Galena. If we're gonna get the box, we're gonna get Galena, and she's in the show. So
I'm already excited.
yeah. Dude, the Red Sisters quarters just looks like a lesbian vampire lair or something. They're all hot as fuck. They're just like drinking wine. There's fucking fruit and food everywhere. A big fire. They're all kind of like sexily dressed. I want to go there. Jeez.
No men allowed. No men allowed in the red quarters, Justin.
No, I'll be a Red Sister today.
Oh.
You get mention of the Shido when they find the Tuathon just slaughtered basically in the waste. They find the traveling people just dead.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see the burnt out just tinker train there. And then we got the worst trope. I fucking hate the you have to bury him trope in TV shows.
I know it's so
fucking
stupid. I really am not a fan of do that all. It bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Hey, we can't leave him behind in a zombie movie. They're fucking dead, bro. They're gonna try to eat you when you get back. Just go.
You think the wolves aren't just gonna kick these rocks out of the way and eat your sister? Like, just leave it alone.
Just go. Fucking circle of life. Okay. There's something mentioned called Immerstan, which there's a big Trolloc like battle there. It's kind of like that's not a hold. It's kind of like a place where everybody can go to get water, and it's like no. Everybody chills.
What was the problem when Avienda, or not Avienda, Bane and Shiad are like, who did you tell? Who did you tell? And then it was just
that wasn't Bane and Shiad. That was Avienda.
That was Avienda.
I have a note about that. It's like, why are you so surprised? They're Dreamwalkers. You should know this. They can figure this shit out. And also, the Aiel are some of the best scouts ever in the world. So you think they're not going to see you coming like 10 miles away up that hill? They were on the top already.
Yeah.
I think it's more like, why are they already here? No, people don't just camp out outside of Reunion, you know what I mean? Or on the way to Reunion. So I think that's kind of trying to convey that, but I think that misses.
It does, because you're Aiel. You know you're not going to see.
Yeah, if anybody's going to know you're coming before you're coming, it's Aiel with a bunch of wetlanders. They're all Aiel. They're just watching. They're like, okay, they're going to get here at 12:30. You see Dane Drunk Cloak he's just getting fucking wasted in the Two Rivers with Matt's mom in a cage. First of all, and is Eamon Valda playing passive? Because he's got to be wounded on got his arm in a sling for going on 10 months now, a year.
Oh, was his arm still in a sling?
Yeah.
God. Well, is it just always in it? Has it always been in a sling, or did we see what happened?
Oh, it's because Egwene stabbed him.
That's right.
He's got nerve damage in his neck. His arm doesn't work. It's my strong hand.
Because a wolf bit him and gave him fucking rabies.
Yeah, gave him fucking powers. Min is very gangsta. She's very brave for someone who doesn't have actual power. She sits down with Elida, isn't scared.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool. Also, we find out that
especially when Elida knows why she's there. Elida's like, "You're here to spy on me, bitch."
No shit, right? You're like, oh. Okay. But again, that could be some part of the compulsion, because she called her Alice before when her hand was shaking. So either she didn't, maybe she was coming back to herself and realizing it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We also find out that Egwene's PTSD isn't quite PTSD. Someone's fucking with her in the world of dreams, leaving bruises on her. It's not a dream. There's someone who is impersonating Rena and actually beating her and hurting her in her dreams. We don't know who it is. I'm assuming Mogadin, but could be any of the Forsaken.
See, I
don't know if you
forget that
picked up-
everyone
I
in
don't know
your-
if you picked up on that.
Oh, no, only because like I forget that everyone in Teleron Riyadh has to be a real person outside of Teleron Riyadh. So I thought that even if you're having
Yes and no. You
nightmares-
can have visions, but if someone is hurting you there, they're real, probably.
right, yeah. So
Especially if you're having the same thing every single night
And
and you're coming out
Rena
with
is
bruises every single night.
deaf dead.
Oh,
I don't
yeah, she's
remember-
for
I
sure
can't-
dead.
I can't
Yep.
remember how we saw
We
her
choked her the
die.
fuck out, dude.
Oh, that's right. Am I jumping ahead with the heart rip?
But the what?
The heart rip?
Heart
I just
rip?
have a note that says heart rip.
Oh no. Yeah, that was gnarly. I'm just gonna rip your heart out because I think you're a fucking pederast. So yeah, I feel like it's fitting.
Oh, that's right. That
Uh,
was in Tenchico. So I am jumping ahead a little bit, but
A little bit. I mean, I'm pretty much there, man. I think so. The gal who's like, he's like, I think she's looking at you, and she's like, no, she's looking at you, man. She has the Malchieri thing on her back because she's actually Malchieri. That character, who's named that character, Matt starts hooking up with in Ryudan. She's a maiden of the spear,
Oh.
and then she's a dark friend and tries to kill Matt. I'm thinking that we're gonna have a similar storyline just for Lan.
Yeah.
I don't think they will become lovers. Maybe she will try to seduce him again, and then when it doesn't work, she'll try to kill him or something. But I don't think she's a good guy, good gal, whatever. I love that we did get the Mandarb for Fail as well. He's like, that's what my friend's horse's name is. That's directly from the books, man. I love it.
Choose your next words carefully. I know. I remembered that scene from the book, but I forgot that it led to it being Fail. So I was still like, who the fuck is this broad? Like, it was driving me crazy.
They trust Fail. I think she's fucking hot. She's perfect. She's badass.
She is fucking. I don't know what it is about that. Is it an actor? Even an actress? Like, I don't want to dead name. So, like, I mean,
I think so. Yeah, her name is Isabella Buscieri or something. She's an Italian actress, I believe.
I don't know. She's very.
She's definitely. It's definitely issue. It's definitely
masculine, and that is not a slight at all. Like, she's gorgeous and different and unique, and like,
yeah, her look is very unique but very beautiful, and she's still very slight of build, which is kind of, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. She just, I think they nailed it with the character. I think she's going to be sufficiently feisty.
It's so good.
And I stopped taking notes when Matt started kicking the shit out of those two tossers,
dude. Okay, so let me just make sure that I'm there. Oh. Yeah, just real quick back to Lan about ready to get his freak on. We got nipple in this show, so
I was gonna say we got some titty today.
Yeah, like not a huge deal, but it
was tastefully done.
If they had done zero real nudity in this show, I would have been just fine with that too. So it's just it was worth noting. I was disappointed that she wasn't coming on to Moraine and Lan, but whatever.
But for that reason alone, I think that it's going to be story driven. My thought is like Lan, he's such a fucking like loyal dude. I don't see him going and fucking her. So
he just once he saw that tattoo, he wasn't sure until he saw the tattoo, and then he was like,
I'm not going anywhere. Then he saw the tattoo and he was like, fuck, I gotta figure out what this is about. Yeah.
So let me get my nitpick out of the way, just in case I'm wrong, and then we can move on.
I'm done with notes, so we can just free ball it until you want to quit. So
in the book, Matt beats them up with a crowd, right?
Yeah, that was my very last note. It kind of sucks that no one's watching. But Nynaeve watching and kind of getting a grin on her face, I did, that was enough for me. Like I said, that wasn't perfect, but it gave me enough of what I wanted. You get to see Matt whipping around that quarterstaff, and then I'm just imagining him with the Ashendari. And,
I was so bummed because they were there with the crowd that afternoon, like just like 6 hours before that scene. Like,
yeah,
like why not? Why didn't you do it there? That's so like maybe we'll find out later that with Gawain and Galad getting, with all the women clamoring for their wardership, maybe it just made more sense for them to not get
That's why he went
embarrassed.
practice. Then he just when he like
Yeah.
knocks over all the swords and he's all like fucking dorky.
But that would have
and
made it
shit.
even funnier if they're just like, look at this guy. He can't even hold a sword, then let's wield it, and then he's just like, but either way, so now that we got that out of the way, it would have been cool to do it. But it's good that if anyone's gonna see him do it, Nynaeve saw him do it. And
Exactly.
holy shit.
Yeah, dude. And even like they're kind of making fun of him just doing it, and then he's just like 2 marks.
Two
Just kicks the shit out of
tap
both of
tap
them.
two.
What I love is that I thought they captured in the book, because in the book he's like, hey, defeat, don't kill. And he was about to fucking smash Galad's fucking face in. So like I did dig that. Oh, and my very last thing, you saw Matt hanging. Did you see what was around him?
No.
A red stone doorway with snakes and foxes on top of it.
Didn't see that at all.
Go back and watch it. He's hanging, and you look around him. You can see the red stone door frame that we saw. It looks exactly the same as the one that's in the 13th. Not suppository does. That's different. They gentle a man with 13 suppositories. That's one way to do it. It's a little bit nicer than the regular gentling. But the 13th depository, where all the Turingriel were and stuff, you can see the redstone doorway in the back, like in the background at one, and it's exactly the same. It's fucking yes.
Sorry, I'm right by the scene, so I want to see it.
That's fine.
I know we rushed. We didn't really rush to it, but we just have to back up for a second. Leandrin laying waste to that wedding party in Tenchico. Like,
yeah, they just kill everybody. That is like almost Red Wedding vibes too.
So that doorway is red as stone as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you don't really notice it because you see Matt hanging, and I'm like, during that last half of that episode, I was sitting up straight like this, and Lisa was sitting next to me, and she was just kind of like, and I was like, feel the back of my neck. I've got fucking goosebumps on the back of my neck. I'm so fucking excited. I wanted to see this shit for 30 fucking years. And I was like, it's not perfect, but it's fucking good.
Yeah, you can't tell because it looks kind of like the pillars that are in the White Tower already.
Right.
You look
it's
a little
like
bit closer, and it's like different and red. Yeah, Leandrin. So we're finding out more and more why Leandrin hates men. It sounds
I get it.
Probably
sounds like it's kind of justified.
Yeah, it sounds like she was probably married off when she was 13. And we may get a little too much of that story for as far as.
Dude, I don't know if you caught this, but when Leandrin is like in her old room, there is some background noise that literally sounds like a bed frame, like like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dude, did he just keep her down there and just like a fucking doll? It was short, and it could have been something else, but like I don't even think I was looking at the screen because I was looking down writing, and I heard that, and I was like, oh, I know what that sound is. I almost think the reason why you hear it when Galad and Gawain are fucking next to Matt's room. It's almost the same cadence.
So you
know what she's flashing back.
Yeah.
Which, if that is the case, Jeremy would be like, you're giving Rafe too much credit. If that is the case, that's genius.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wishing, but I think, man, dude, like, wow.
In the books, is Tanchico known as just being a terrible place where 13-year-olds are married off to grown men constantly, or is that
I don't know. I mean, they don't really get into that a whole lot in this. It's not that Game of Thronesy as far as like, like weddings and like, like political pacts and stuff like that. We don't get a ton of that in this. Like, oh, we have to marry so-and-so so that we can, have these armies. We don't get a lot of that in this. So that is definitely a liberty that's taken. But I do love that it gives like kind of Tortuga vibes from Pirates of the Caribbean, because it's a port city and it's.
Did you get ideas that Leandrin was attacking certain people, or that she was taking down I couldn't tell if like Tenchico's just this terrible.
They just needed a fucking headquarters basically, and that was a place that she knows. She knows who's there. She knows what kind of who would care if all these people were dead. Pretty much no one but the people who are in that room, right? Is I think the vibe I get, and they need. They're staying at some manor house when they go there in the books. The Black Ajah are hiding out at some manor house. I'm not sure. Jeremy, we could easily figure out. I think it may have some kind of connection with Leandrin, or maybe it's just some noble woman that's a dark friend and they took her house. But you see Moghedin being their like servant
Yeah.
Did you catch that? Like she's like pouring tea for him and
Yeah.
shit. And they're just like,
Oh.
we're their shit. And it's like, you guys, softly, softly from the shadows, motherfucker.
Oh.
Like they have done Moggy is in the books is definitely a dangerous opponent because she's so sneaky and she's very smart. But she's one of those ones that won't try to come at you unless she, come at the king, you better not miss. She's gonna be real sure that all of her ducks in a row before she tries anything. So to see this kind of more aggressive Moggy and maybe not more aggressive, but you get to see her machinations more in the forefront as the spider who's hiding. It's fun for me. I do like that, and that actress is just fucking god damn it. I somehow have an erection and I'm terrified. I don't know. Sing me a song, Bjork. I don't fucking know what's happening right now.
I love a
it's
good
just,
fear boner.
there's just so much, and like I said, I'm sure I'll probably catch a million more things. I was looking at Easter eggs and stuff, but just so you know, anyone who might be listening, and Desmond and Jeremy, you fucking quitter. I was up until almost 3 a.m. last night. I tried to watch the 3rd episode. I rewatched the 1st episode at midnight. I watched the 2nd episode and was trying not to doze. I mean, because I was fucking exhausted. I started the 3rd episode and I saw Samael and Rob. I didn't see Robin. I just saw Samuel and I was like, no, stop. I gotta fucking pay attention to this. I'm not going to bed. And then I don't know, something happened at like 6 a.m. I like knocked the dog thing over and I got woken up at 6. And I decided it'd be a good idea. Winston's had this lump on his ass for like 2 years and it hasn't grown or anything. I'm like, I'm done worrying about this. I decided to make a fucking vet appointment at fucking 7:45 this morning because that's a great idea. So I slept about 3 hours. Then I worked all day and then I came home and watched him. So I'm fucking tired. So like I said, I think I got not much more. I think we kept it pretty close to where we want to be. And I'm sure there's a million more things we're going to see as we rewatch it. I will say this. I have never wanted to rewatch an episode of this show immediately after, and now I want to watch 2 immediately afterwards. I've seen the 1st episode 3 times now. I can't wait to watch the 3rd episode again because there's so much in it. So our rewatches are going to be a lot more fun, I think, than the last couple of seasons because it was kind of like, okay, I still don't know where we're going with this, so I've got to like really work to come up with opinions. I don't have to work for opinions on this. It's just like, awesome.
Yeah, it is so good, and like like we do every season, this feels a little bit rushed. Like next week, we're going to spend the exact same amount of time on one episode, and we will come back to this the week after season 8, the week after episode 8. Not the week. We'll probably do a full recap, whatever. Very shortly after episode 8, we're going to come right back to. I don't even know if we're going to do like if we do a commentary style. I'm going to watch the whole episode before we start the commentary, like just to really soak it in.
Well, so because you don't want to like be making a comment and then miss some shit. So
yeah. But I'm like with you, Justin. This makes me excited to I know we just did a rewatch with the editors.
Yeah.
This makes me want to go back and watch the first 16 episodes again, all of them, to pick up on everything and just see how many breadcrumbs I didn't realize were breadcrumbs.
Perfect example where Rand is standing in the stream in Egwene's vision. That's where they cross the river when they're leaving and the Trollocs are chasing them in the very first episode. So stuff like that, and seeing the 2 rivers rebuilt similar but slightly differently. All that, man, I think is done. It's like you said last week or the week before, Disney can bust all this shit out in a year because they have a dome and they can put whatever.
Yeah.
But the amount of work that's went into finding locations, practical effects. I mean, we're kids of the 80s, bro. We love that shit.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of mixing, green screen graphics and stuff when it works and when it looks legit. But being able to do a combination of the both makes me really happy. So
actual light hitting actual objects looks amazing, and this show looks the sets they build, the
long pullback overhead shots of the landscapes and stuff, and just everything feels much grander this year. The way they've shot things kind of from lower angles, it makes you feel like the streets of Tarvalin and the streets of Tenchiko are much fuller than they probably actually are. But I think they're doing a really good job capturing that. I mean, I honestly don't even care about any of that shit right now because they're nailing the story so much. It could be walking in Hogwarts. I don't fucking care. It's awesome, dude. I love it.
I've never I understood the idea of wanting to go to places where they filmed Lord of the Rings scenes. Like I got it, but I didn't give a shit.
It's still just a field.
I want to fucking go stand in one of these fields.
Yeah.
Where
the Waygate was. I
Wheel
want to
of
get to that tune where the fucking tide comes in, where the Waygate was, and be like, holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah. So cool.
But, and
All
I
right.
don't really care about that kind of shit either. So, I mean, I do, but it's like, damn.
I love you. I'm going to start playing the outro song. I forget how quickly it comes in. So excited. So awesome. We'll be here next week, folks, 8 p.m. Thursday night, talking about episode 4. Come here, be here, or be square. Put your dagger in the horn box.
And may you always find comfort in 1,000 ginger women.
Always.
And may you always find water and shade.
You can leave the stage, but leave your laptop open for a minute while the song plays through, and keep your dragon head out of your dragon ass.
Always.
You're listening to Thank the Light, the Wheel of Time podcast. Do yourself a favor. Tune in live on YouTube at What Sounds Awesome. Thursday night, 8 p.m.
Awesome.
Pacific Standard Time. And check us out in real time. Get your questions and comments read on air, or just be the first to hear us. If you can't be here live, please send your questions and comments to thankthelight@gmail.com. That is thankthelight@gmail.com. Until then, put your dagger in the horn box.
I am not average, I am not ordinary, I am a masterpiece, you know I do it for me. I am not perfect, no that's imaginary, but I'm a masterpiece, you know I do it for me. And all my colors and paints, all my lines and my shapes, every move that I make, I am not basic, it's self-explanatory. I am a masterpiece, you know I do it for me. Just the way I like it, yeah.
By Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com. And this is where the hilarious outtake would appear.